Alright guys, today we're doing a different type of video on the Oculus Quest 2. I've done a lot of videos on the Quest 2 as far as accessories go, but I've never done a video like this when it comes to accessories. So these are accessories that are not actually necessities for the Quest 2, like a lot of these videos out there talking about the top Quest 2 accessories and stuff. This is more when you have everything for the Quest and you want to see something different and you want to elevate games on your Quest 2. These are the kind of accessories that can make games just more fun. They're not a necessity, but just make games that you're playing a lot more immersive, a lot more fun. And these are the ones that I've come across so far that I wanted to share with you guys in this video. That if you're looking for more fun on the Quest 2 and you have some money and you want to buy some cool accessories, let's go ahead and check these out.
Gaming tech, eating brekkie is the gaming tech. Going for a brekkie is the gaming tech. Gaming tech is the gaming tech. Gaming techie.
Alright guys, so the first accessory we're going to talk about here for the Quest 2 is the VR Gunstock from ProTube VR, as you guys are looking at here. So we're going to go ahead and show off some gameplay and show you guys and tell you guys why this thing is cool. So what's really cool about the VR Gunstock, as you guys are seeing here, as I'm playing contractors with it, is just the feel you get you're actually holding a real gun. Obviously, it's not apparent when you're actually looking at me playing there, but while you're in the game, it has support for these, for these accessories, so it will actually mimic exactly how you're supposed to hold these guns and these rifles and stuff as you're playing. So when you take these shots and you reload, you actually feel like you're taking the clip out because you're taking the controller out of there, putting it back on the gun stock, and it just feels like you're naturally holding a gun. And it makes the gameplay so much better in games like Contractors and Onward and all the other first-person shooters that we play. The other thing we got to talk about, of course, is the BHaptics Suit. Now, this is obviously adding haptics to games that actually support it, which is really cool. And you'll see here gameplay in Contractors again, where I'm using the suit, and you have the arms thing there on the side that actually goes on your arms as well to give you tactical feedback. So you can see I'm wearing the haptic suit there along with using the VR Gunstock, so this is full immersion into there. So all those shots that you see me take, when I got hit there, I feel it in my actual chest in the direction that it actually comes in. So not only does it add more fun to the game, but it actually adds some actual realism to it, because if you get shot in the back, now you know exactly where you're getting shot from in the game because you can feel it hitting the back of you or the front of you or the side of you and all that stuff. So it just adds not only more fun because you get to feel all the haptics on your actual chest, but also makes it so you actually get kind of a slight advantage because you know where these shots are coming from while you're moving around, which is pretty cool. And obviously the ones on your hands also, every shot that you take you feel. So when I shoot the gun, I actually feel it on my arm as if I'm getting feedback from the actual gun. So the ones on your hands are really cool too because you can feel every shot you take. The chest is obviously what you feel when you get shot by other players. So the BHaptics Suit, it works with a lot of games out there as well. There's a lot of support out there now for native Quest games and using the app that they have on the Quest now, and of course it works with PC VR and a bunch of games as well. So there's a lot of games that you could use it with, and I hope that they keep adding support because this is something that I love using, and it adds a lot more realism and a lot more fun to games, not just first-person shooters, but any game that it works with. It's really fun. So definitely something to check out if you guys have money and you're looking to add that next step in VR. Next one we're going to talk about here is this plastic shell that you can use in your Quest 2 controllers for gun games like Pistol Whip and stuff, which actually adds some really cool effects. So here I am using this AMVR controller basically on my Quest 2 playing Pistol Whip. And again, you would think that this doesn't mean anything because of course it's just a plastic shell for your controller, but it makes it feel like you're all holding an actual gun. And for those of you guys who are probably thinking, well, you don't see what you're looking at on Quest 2, so why would it matter if you're holding a Quest 2 controller in a shell of a gun when you can't see anyway? Well, it just makes it feel like you're holding a gun in VR, and it just adds to the immersion. You don't know what it feels like until you're actually holding it, because obviously when you're playing a game like Pistol Whip and you're using the Quest 2 controller, it feels like you're holding a Quest 2 controller. We all can feel that it doesn't feel like a gun. It feels like we're holding a controller in our hands and pressing the trigger. But when it's in a plastic shell like this that looks and feels like a gun, then when you're using it in games that you're supposed to be using a gun in, like Pistol Whip, for example, that we're playing here, then it actually makes the immersion just go higher, because now you feel like you're holding a game and you just feel more badass because now you feel like you're holding a gun into the game, and it adds a lot more fun to the gameplay. So even though it's just a plastic shell, it goes a long way in adding to the immersion. So it's definitely something I would check out if you play a lot of gun games like Pistol Whip and some of the other gun games that are using pistols and stuff, because it definitely adds to the fun factor for a very little amount of cost, and it's definitely something I love using. The next accessory we're going to show off here is for Beat Saber, and these are Beat Saber handles from AMVR, and we're going to check these out in Beat Saber and see what they can do. Now you can see me here playing Beat Saber with these handles on expert mode like I usually do, And you can see that they really add a fun factor to Beat Saber, just like the other accessories that we talked about. Now again, this falls in the same line of why would you want to use these when they're just plastic shells for your controller, but now instead of holding a controller in your hand, you're kind of holding, it feels like you're holding a saber. So when you're in Beat Saber and you're looking at a lightsaber in front of you, if what you're holding in your hand feels like a lightsaber, then you're going to feel more immersed into the game, and that's exactly what these provide. You're not touching the controllers anymore. You have these handles underneath the controller that make you feel like you're gripping an actual saber or some sort of sword or something like that, just like you are in Beat Saber that you're playing with, and it adds to the game and makes the game much more fun to play. It's another accessory that doesn't cost that much, but really adds to the fun factor if you play games like Beat Saber a lot, because this obviously only works for Beat Saber, so this is very specific to this one game, unlike the other accessories that we talked about that could be used for multi-games. This is, if you're strictly play a lot of Beat Saber like I do, this is definitely a fun accessory to have. And speaking of a Beat Saber accessory, we actually have another Beat Saber accessory to elevate your game if you really want to try something really different in Beat Saber. So this accessory is also from AMVR, and it's a long stick grip. It kind of lets you play like the Darth Maul version of Beat Saber, as you guys are about to see. So fair warning with this one, this is the first time I've ever used one of these before. So essentially what you do is in Beat Saber, you turn it on so you don't have the blocks actually telling you a direction, because that would basically make it impossible to play with this accessory. But as you can see here, it kind of looks like you're holding a one saber in your hand, and it kind of gives the effect of like you're doing the Darth Maul thing where you're kind of swiveling the thing back and forth to hit the arrows or to hit the blocks. But the problem here is that I'm pretty bad and I've only played with this. This is the first time I'm playing with it. People have gotten crazy with this thing where they like are spinning the stick in 360 motions and kind of making it seem like they really are, like, you know, taking it to that next level Star Wars related. So you could get a lot better with this thing, and you could make it even more fun by spinning that stick around 360 and kind of make yourself look like a badass. But obviously here I'm using it for the first time. I'm just trying to swipe these blocks. But obviously the idea is to swing this in 360 and 180 motions to just kind of make yourself feel like a badass with one stick on your hand, and kind of play Beat Saber in a new way, essentially, because this gives you a unique way of playing the game. Obviously you wouldn't be able to play this if you didn't have this accessory, because it just wouldn't make any sense, but this gives you a unique way to play the game. So again, another accessory from AMVR for Beat Saber. If you're looking for something different, this is definitely something cool. If you've played all the other songs on Expert and you want to try something new, this is definitely something to give a shot. And the last accessory we're going to be talking about here is for one of my favorite games in VR, and that is 11 Table Tennis. This is a paddle for the Quest 2 on the controllers. You can see how that looks like there, and we definitely have to show this one off because I really like this one. So this is definitely the game I play the most in VR. 11 Table Tennis, even though it's been around for a while, it's one of those games where even if I'm going to play a different game in VR and we have something scheduled, this is a game that I go into and I'm like, all right, I'm going to play a round or two of table tennis because it's that addicting. The physics are good. You know, we've all talked about how good this game is, but we're here, of course, for the accessory that I'm using here in the video. And considering that this is my favorite game, it's no surprise that this is also my favorite accessory on this list. As far as adding a fun factor to the game, because again, just like all the other ones we talked about, it adds more realism to the game. Yes, you can't see that you're holding a paddle, obviously, because you're in VR and the Quest is on your face, but you feel like you're holding a actual racket or an actual table tennis paddle while you're actually playing the game, which makes the game feel much different. It even has, of course, the game, you have to go into the options and actually turn this on. Don't forget in the advanced settings, because the game needs to know that you're holding the racket in that direction now, because now you're holding your controller sideways as opposed to how you would be if you weren't using this. But the game does support it for the AMVR. It's literally just a toggle in the options and you're all set to go, which is awesome. But yeah, it makes the game much more fun because it feels like you're holding a table tennis paddle in your hand, just like you would in real life, and it doesn't feel like you're holding a controller anymore. And I have a ton of fun with this one, and it's definitely my favorite accessory on the list just because of how much I play this game. And again, really cheap accessory to get. So if you guys are fans of this game as much as I am, it's definitely something I would recommend to check out.
Alright guys, I hope you guys enjoyed that video on the Oculus Quest 2 accessories that I think add more fun onto your Oculus Quest 2 games. If you guys have any questions on the accessories that you guys have seen in today's video, as always, leave it down below. If not, thank you guys for watching. Until next time.